So I am drinking, Holly sent me in the mail Cryo Brew. Cryo Brew. So it is how to enjoy, not how to enjoy Cryo Brew. It's Honest Energy, and I'm about to try it. I'm about to take my first sip of it, and it's a coffee alternative. Interesting. It's a French roast coffee alternative, and I have to be fully honest that so I was watching on the Facebook Live for 6 a.m. Coffee with Shanda. Holly kept posting that she was drinking this. Hi, Holly, and I was like, what is she drinking? What is this Cairo brew? Because I love alternative coffees, right? Or alternative to coffee. So I was like, what is this Cairo brew? And she sent it to me. What a sweetheart, huh? So she sent it to the Hardcore office. And so now, oh, I got to turn my cup around. So it says, Hardcore business. And what else does it say? You got this. So, so she sent it to me, and I'm trying it for the first time. So you're about to witness, is the Cairo Brew alternative coffee any good? Let's see. It is. It tastes like a really nice, like chocolate cocoa or something. It's good. It's really good. Here's what's hilarious. Ash made this for me this morning, and he didn't put a filter in the coffee machine, but it's still good. I thought it was going to be filled with coffee grinds or cacao grinds, but it's not. So, good morning, everybody. Nice to see you. Awesome. Okay, so a couple things that I want to share with you. In the description area, I am doing a webinar this weekend, or not this weekend, this Thursday at 9:30 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. Here's why I'm sharing this. If you are a client with me, it's great for you to go watch. If you're not a client with me, I'm going to tell you that one of the biggest challenges that I see with people is that they are focusing on the wrong thing. Like last night, I should never do this, but I grabbed my phone and I looked on my Facebook Messenger, and I get, if you ever send me a Facebook message or an Instagram message, especially on Facebook, I get so many, I get tons, right? But I go through them. Like I actually go through and read them, even though we get so many of them. And so, give me some grace if you send me a Facebook inbox message. No, I'll get to you, but it might not be right like that, right? So I go in my Facebook inbox message, and there's this amazing woman, and I love this woman. She's a powerhouse. She goes and she teaches leadership. She's got this vision to start her own business. And I don't know, not only is she absolutely gorgeous, but she's also so gorgeous inside. And I find out that she is focused on doing something called a challenge. Do you guys know what a challenge is? Like 10-day challenges, 3-day challenges, 5-day challenges. They're awesome. They're awesome for your business. They're awesome for engagement. They're awesome for, even pulling like really great clients out of them because it creates so much engagement. However, they're not the best ways to build your audience. They're not the best ways to build your platform. They're great. Don't get me wrong. They're great, but they end up being more expensive than doing interview series. We recommend in 90 days you do like interviewing influencers to be able to get influencers to endorse you. That's the best way to grow your list. So why am I sharing this with you? Because it breaks my heart. I constantly see people who they're like, okay, I'm going to do this. I need more accountability. This is hard. And then they pull back, and then somebody else sells them a tactic, right? Somebody else sells them a tactic. And not that the tactic is bad, but you can't build your business on a bunch of tactics, right? Like I've done a challenge as well. They're great. Love them. But it's not like I'm doing a challenge like every single month to be able to like make money or fill my client base. Like it's a lot. It's like not a sustainable model to be doing over and over and over again. It's nice to get a nice bump or to re-engage your email list, but it's not a sustainable model that you're going to get a ton of recurring income from. In fact, once the right people jump out of the challenge, it takes a long time to warm up the next group of people. Here's why you need to know this. If you are focused on something, one of the best things, we're doing this whole training Jesse Itzler, who wrote Living with a Seal, and he's training a bunch of us to physically train our bodies so that our minds get physically like unstoppable. And this is something that I brought into Hardcore Business to train a group of my clients who are interested in becoming unstoppable. And one of the things he says, and Ash and I were talking about this on our run yesterday, is that it really doesn't matter how you get to the destination. In fact, his biggest thing is it's so important to be happy. But it really does matter that you finish what you start. And so the reason why I'm sharing this story of this woman who started on an aspect of building her email list with us, and then she hit a wall. And instead of staying with it all the way through, she reconditioned a long-term behavior of stopping when it gets hard. And I share this with you because are you strengthening? Are you strengthening? Are you actually talking yourself out of success because you think you need something else? Because you think that there's something that if you were to do this better or differently, you would succeed. And here's what I want to share with you, and I think Jesse Itzler would back me up on this. It's not about fitting into your comfort zone. It's not about, when you use the word need, you've already lost the game. When you say the word need, I need blank, you've actually already set yourself up for a strategy that lots of times, not all the time, but lots of times will put you up against a wall. Because who you needed to be to complete whatever you started is actually the personality trait that you need to access whatever level of success you want, whatever that looks like for you. In order to do that, so it's very different in creation versus need. So if your language, and it's genuine, not because you're wordsmithing your words, but your mentality is like, you know what, I'm going to hire an OB manager for my company because I see a vision of this online business manager doing XYZ, or I'm going to create something powerful in my relationship, right? Like your date nights or something like that. And like, I want them to look like this and feel like this, and I'm going to create this because I'm committed to it. There is so much power behind that. But when you say, I just need, I just need this. If I just had this, everything would be okay. That is an ego trip. That is a negative pattern that you are thinking in, and it has you doing this. This is why your money goes boop, 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 boop. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you want to quit the Richter scale of, huge earthquakes in your life financially, because that's the piece that I talk about, is building a business that creates financial freedom. If you want to stop that, you have to manage your mind. You have to manage your mind. I talked yesterday about giving something in order to be able to receive, right? But let's get even more hyper aware. While you're going through your day, your week, actually pay attention to how many things you don't finish. Pay attention to how many things you start and you don't finish, or you let yourself off easy. You guys, even when I start a book, even if somebody tells me about this amazing book that I feel like I need or that I want, then what happens is that I don't touch that book until I finish the book I'm reading. It becomes an incentive for me to light a fire under my butt and finish what I started, right? So now what happens if you have a commitment, and then let's just take business. So you have a commitment to create something. So yesterday, Andrew and I were working all day getting prepared for my Thursday webinar, which the link is in the description of the Facebook Live. Sorry guys, it's not on Instagram, but our Hardcore Business page on Facebook Live. But we spent all day working on it. So know that I start work typically at 5 a.m. I do 6 a.m. with you guys. I didn't actually start work this morning. I actually decided to put little ringlets in my hair. So I sacrificed something to be able to put ringlets in my hair, right? And I know this sounds crazy, but I want you to hear what I'm talking about. What was more important to me was putting ringlets in my hair versus working this morning. Now, here's how I justified it. I worked all day yesterday. I got up, I started work at 5, I worked all day, and I worked until 6 p.m. Now, that might sound funny to you, but I don't start work at 9 or 7, 9 or 10, and then work till 6 o'clock, which wouldn't be a bad day. I actually typically end my day at 2:45, which I did take a break at 2:45 yesterday, and I went and picked up my son. Why is this important? Because when I came home, I went back to work because there was work to be done yesterday with my manager to be able to be prepared for the webinar that I'm going to teach on Thursday, which is about how I grew a multi-seven-figure business and skyrocketed into the multi-seven figures while raising my son. And I built the entire business working from my living room. In fact, once it was actually a closet. And so, but along the way, I've had to sacrifice things that I haven't wanted, and I haven't wanted to sacrifice, and I've had to focus on getting really good at completing what I start. So, like, if you were to just pay attention, because what I realized is I used to be a great starter and a shitty finisher. Well, you never win a race unless you finish. And here's what's crazy. Most of your competition in life, the people who you like, even like just people who you admire in your peer set, I can tell you that the most talented people don't usually make the most amount of money. Now, this sucks for you if you're really talented, but you can course correct it right now and always finish. Always finish. It's not about you scrutinizing how good you're doing something. It's not about you being the most efficient. It's not even about you being the most charismatic. It's just about you finishing. And every time you don't finish what you start, you strengthen this barrier to success, and you actually talk yourself out of success. So will everything you do all the way to completion create success for you? Yes. Why? Because you're retraining your mind. You just went on a training plan, a training workout for the mind that creates a result of success. If you're someone who never gives up, we recommend that our entrepreneurs go run races, half marathons, triathlons, whatever. We're doing an endurance race with Jesse where we're like walking this hill 100 times. And it's because we're going to want to quit a bunch of times. We're going to hit the wall, right? And so when we hit the wall, we have a choice. And the choice is it too hard and do I need something else? Or can I realize, as Jesse's words are, I'm under-indexing my life, and that if I just go inside, one of the things that SEAL taught him, he wrote this whole book, Living with a SEAL. SEAL lived with him for 30 days, and he trained under SEAL's command. And the deal was not money. The deal was actually that Jesse would do absolutely everything that SEAL said. I mean, I wish I could have my clients sign a contract. I should for my premium clients that work with me privately, that I will only work with you if you do 100% of what I say. And here's the reason why. If you do that, you win. Because the path to success is proven. Just finish. Stop quitting. We bring people onto a call center with us. Some make it, some quit. And they have reasons why they quit, right? So you have got to be someone who doesn't reason yourself, doesn't talk yourself out of quitting, and become the type of person who always completes what you start. That's how you'll stop having a roller coaster of explosive results or just good results where you feel inspired, and then other results that feel like, that didn't work and I quit. So get the word quit out of your vocabulary. Get the idea that you're going to stop for any reason, and I don't give an F what you need. If you want to be successful, it has nothing to do with what you need. It has to do with your vision of what you're creating. So on Facebook, I want to just give you an opportunity. I'm just going to stay on for about another 5 minutes, and I'm going to hot seat some of your businesses. So go ahead, just ask me a question in your business, But I need it to be a specific question. It needs to be a question that says, I'm trying to do X, but I'm having a hard time with Y. And X is I'm trying to sell an information product and I'm having a hard time with the website. Whatever. I'm just making it up. So ask me a question like that so that I can clearly see it in the thread and be able to help you. So go ahead and do that now. Hey, you guys on Instagram. Oh, awesome. Hello from Germany. You helped me very much. Thank you. You're so welcome. You are so, so, so welcome. Hey, you guys on Instagram. Good morning, Philippe. Good morning, PT300 Baz. What does that stand for? I have to look that up. Awesome. Hey, Patrick. How are you? Thank you very much. I'm grateful and you're adorable. Thank you. I'm trying to be, Joanna, I'm trying to be consistent, but find that I have little time to put in game momentum thoughts. Oh, Joanna, I'll share this with you. So if you're trying to be consistent, but you have little time to put into gaining momentum, change your mindset. So Joanna's asking me, she's having a hard time creating momentum, and she's on Instagram right now, and she has very little time. So know that time conversation really is a mindset thing. So when I started my business, I had a full-time job and I worked in the evenings, and that's just what I did. I know a lot of people have done that. I believe Sarah Blakely, who created Spanx, had a full-time job during the day and then she worked in the evening. So first of all, Joanna, how hungry are you for freedom, right? So anybody can do anything for a short period of time. This is why we're really big on endurance sports and endurance races, because they're long. They're not short sprints, they're long. So they cause you to dig down deep inside and find that piece of you that's hungry. Most people are not hungry enough, right? And for ultimate reasons, like sometimes you just don't believe it's really going to happen. And so the way you feel takes you out. Commitment has nothing to do with how you feel. In fact, often when you do an endurance race, you feel at some point like shit, right? Just like growing a business. So a couple things. Manage your mind. Always manage your mind. You're in an endurance race. Growing a business is an endurance race, right? So what's where's the end of the race? Where are you going to give yourself a break at the end? And what's that milestone so that you can see it and you can get hyper focused on it? Something that Ash and I were talking about yesterday that I really appreciate about Jesse, this is like the Jesse show today, is that one of the things he was sharing with us when we were talking about happiness, which is an interesting aspect of being successful in life. Happiness, he said that when he did this basketball game, most of the guys were younger than him, because I think he said he was 47. And half the guys are younger than him. And so he knew he wasn't going to be the best basketball player, but what he could focus on is being the best whatever, right? So in your life or your business, how could you talk yourself into completing by looking at what can be the thing that I can be the best at and go after that, be hyper-focused. So right now we're building a 7-figure funnel, right? Which means that it's a 7-figure funnel that works with cold traffic, which means it's people that don't know me. It's, in my mind, it's kind of hard to create a 7-figure funnel, but we're actually pretty close to being there right now. But it's taken me like a year, you guys. It's taken me a year. So it's been a year-long endurance, right? And so, Joanna, what can you focus on that gives you hyper? This works for any area of our life, right? What can you focus on in your relationship, in your fitness, in your eating patterns? You can break this down as a mom, as a businesswoman, whatever. What can you focus on that you can measure, a tangible, measurable result that you can see and you can get in the zone? And when you get in the zone, you can actually bring your hunger, your appetite to go after it, right? And that's an amazing, juicy place to live from. And then during it, know that your pace is not what matters. So Joanna, the fact that you don't have time to grow momentum is built one step at a time. So don't care about when you cross the finish line. Really care about being the type of person who finds your momentum by managing your mind and one foot after the other. Here's another piece that I'll give you. Go read A Perfect Day Formula. Craig is amazing. He actually supports one of our masterminds. And he's amazing. He will talk to you about the perfect day schedule. So that's why I get up so early in the morning so that I can end my day. I'm just going to say it this way. My dreams do not allow me to quit work at 2:45 in the afternoon. Not if I start at 9 or 10. My dreams don't allow that to happen. So part of my commitment of what I give is getting up early, like getting up at 4:30 in the morning, right? That's my commitment. Okay. Hey, you guys on Facebook, let's answer some questions here. Okay, so Dawn, I'm trying to sell a VIP day and having a challenge with my messaging and closing. I need to know a little bit more about that. So I would recommend that you get a swipe file from one of the people in your mastermind, because you study with us, and find somebody. Go post a note that's really clear for people to see. So part of being a leader is being seen. When you're not seen, like if all you guys, I don't know whose coaching group you belong to, hopefully you belong to a business coaching group if you're clear that you're growing a business. Do not do the lone sheep thing where you're doing it by yourself, and don't study with 500 coaches, okay? Recipe for disaster, rookie move, okay? So Dawn, if you go in your group with us and post a note that is a clear headline. So I know you're having messaging issues, so let me help you with the headline. Can I ask you a favor? When we ask people a question, the minds reading that have to engage and answer a question, right? So that gets your audience in your peer group to pay attention to you. Can I ask you a favor? Exclamation mark or ... right? Colon. I'm trying to sell a VIP day and I'm having a challenge with messaging. Does anybody have an email that has worked well to convert high-end coaching or high-end ticket pricing? I would appreciate it if you private message that to me. That's it, right? And then literally just see what happens, right? And if you wanted, you could even tag a couple people that you know are really rocking it and see if they'd be willing to be generous. And I find that most people, when you ask them for a favor, are willing to be generous. And if they're not, then you know what, they're not the type of people that you want to hang out with. And those type of people don't last in our community. So I think you're good. Okay. Hi, Stacy Walker. Hi, Patrick. Hi, you guys. Hi from Croatia. I love it. Not hungry enough, apparently. Yes, time to get hungry. You guys, I'm drinking this. No, I'm not an affiliate of this product. I tend to be someone who shares everything that I do. And it is a Cairo brew. And Holly, I don't know if she's on right now, but she actually sent me this in the mail. I love it when you guys send me like what you're drinking and some awesome things, because I find it really generous that you're giving to me. So thank you. I appreciate that. But it's really good. It is really good. It's a coffee alternative. Okay. I think you can get it on Amazon. Okay. So, oh, there you are, Holly. Holly. Awesome. I'm on. Yeah, it's really good. It tastes like chocolate, or like almost like a really mellow hot chocolate, which I really quite like. Okay, so I used to wake up with my son at 3:30 a.m. to nurse, and I would stay up, and I would stay up at 3:30 to do university homework and study. I'm bringing this back into my life. 4:30 is my magic time now. Just started it again. Oh, shoot, I just lost you. Just started it again. It was hard to do. It still is, but I remind myself of my goal and literally jump out of bed. I have nuts and water waiting for me at my computer. That's cool. Yeah, that's great. So you work between 4:30 and 7:30 when your kids are sleeping. And that's great. So that's great, Tanya. I mean, that again, that's the hungry piece. So often we watch these, we watch influencers online, or especially like if you're in my world where it's coaches and info marketers and things like that. And we watch these amazing info marketers, right? We watch, Marie, and we watch, Frank Kern, and we watch all these people. We're like, oh, they're like, I can't tell you how many people have said to me, I want Marie's life. And that's what we all want you to think. We want you to follow us and want our life, right? But however, the thing that is the truth is there's a lot of big risks. There's a lot of big risks that have gone with building our companies. And there are many times that we've gone without. And when I hear stories of people eating top ramen for like 6 months while they're building a business, I have so much respect for that, because typically those are the type of people who make it. And hopefully they keep themselves surrounded by a really good community of people, because like the Bible says, community will keep influencing your mind. And make sure you don't hang out with the couple people in each community, because there is in every community, every single community, you guys, there are people failing. Every single community. I always find it amazing when someone reaches out to me and says, here's all the things wrong with your program. I'm like, why don't you put that much effort into being the person who succeeds? Because the next sentence is, and I know a lot of other people who feel the same. And it's like, yeah, you're hanging out with the loser group. And I mean that with so much love, but that's the group losing. And they lose over and over and over again in every community that they go to. And so until someone interrupts that thought pattern, or they're lucky enough to get with a winner who is bold enough to interrupt that conversation for them, right? So know, if you hang out with, my dad used to say, if you hang out with garbage truck drivers, you're going to end up marrying a garbage truck driver. And he said, I really hope that you hang out with ambitious people who are doing things in the world, so that you really get to thrive and become everything you want to be. And what he was saying to me is that your mind is so influenced by the people that you spend your time with, right? And so notice who you're spending your time with. Are you spending your time with people who are complaining and losing? And are you allowing their thoughts and their words to seep in and create a virus, a cancer of lack inside your life? Or I would recommend whatever program, whoever you're working with, to shift that whole dialogue and go look for the winners. Go look for the winners who are rocking it in whatever community that you're working in, and hang out with them. And whenever someone losing comes into your space, interrupt that pattern for them, because it could be many more years that they go struggling if you don't make a difference for them now, right? So pay attention to that, right? Pay attention to making a difference for people. I'm a big advocate on it, but you have got to manage your mind in order to make sure that they don't get into your mind. Because I've seen good people, like the person who I started this Facebook Live about, who is super powerful, does personal development work, even coaches it, decided to do a challenge instead of an influencer build because she felt like she needed that. And she's training with a really great person who I love and adore, but isn't exactly making millions, right? So stop taking advice from people who are not where you want to be. Take strategic advice from the people who are emotionally, physically, and financially where you want to be. And we will tell you, there is risk and there are hard moments on the road. And I know you know this, but be smart enough to catch it when you try to quit. Be smart enough to catch it when you start to talk yourself out of a good situation, so that you can course correct and you can finish strong. All right, you guys, it is Tuesday. I will see you Wednesday. I was going to say Thursday. I'll see you Wednesday morning. I'll see you tomorrow morning on Coffee with Shanda. I will be on Hardcore Business Facebook Live with you guys. As you know, throughout the day, I will go on the thread and I will actually answer your questions and support you. I really appreciate when you guys share and tag another entrepreneur. I really appreciate when you bring more volume to these Coffees with Shanda. Mainly because I'm getting up to do this and I want to make as big of an impact as possible. And, the more people that we get on these, the more I get filled up, the more fired up I get, and then the more gets tapped out of me. Okay, you guys, so God bless. Have a great rest of your day. Keep sharing whatever you're drinking so that we can all check it out. Holly, thank you, that Cairo brew. I love it. It's great. I can't wait to see how I feel throughout the day. Instagram, it's really awesome to spend time with you guys, and I will see all of you guys tomorrow morning. Okay, God bless. Please feel free to answer to ask your questions on the thread, because I really am here to make a difference for you, okay? Awesome. Bye. Bye.